Hi, I'm Coach Bill Renner, and I'd like to talk to you about the Punters Box that I use to train my punters. The reason that I do this is, number one, it's for a visual reference. It always helps if you can see where your punters are stepping, how much ground they're covering, and where their feet are going. Because where their feet go in terms of directional, whether they're walking to the right or walking to the left or walking straight ahead, really help determine what part of the ball that they contact, and really can help you pinpoint as a coach the kind of mistakes that they're making that may not be from ball striking, but it may be from their stepping pattern as they approach the ball. So having a visual reference, having a line that we ask them to walk down and we can see where their feet step, allow us to be able to recognize those technique problems quicker. The second thing is there's punter-specific movement patterns that they need to make that are right, and that if they don't do them are wrong. And in order to train them, we need to have some specific visual reference for them also. So by putting the straight lines down, we're going to train the specific punting movement patterns that we need them to perform in order to be successful. Now, having coached this punting for over 25 years, I'm convinced that there are things called learned punting movements. In other words, not everything is just natural when you punt. And these particular four areas, I think, over a period of time, myself coaching them and having performed it, that these four things you need to, that are natural. The first thing is the stepping or walking straight. It's not natural to walk straight. If you coach punters or you watch your punters, everybody has a tendency to walk a little bit to their right. So it's something that they have to learn to do. The punter's box and having a straight line helps them understand what it feels like to walk straight. So learning the stepping pattern or walking straight is one thing that the punter's box will help you do. Taking short, quick steps is another learned punting movement that I believe is not natural. Most people have a tendency to want to have really long strides because it makes them feel like that they're going to get more power into the ball because they have a longer swing. So the longer swing would produce more leg speed and consequently make them feel like they're punting the ball far. However, we know the opposite to be true, that shorter, quicker steps actually produce faster leg swing. So we're going to use the punter's box and we're going to use distance measurements to control the length of their steps so they're taking shorter, quicker steps. Once again, it's not a natural thing for them, but something that the punter's box will help them to feel more comfortable with. The third area that's a learned punting movement is to swing straight. It is not natural for punters to make straight leg swings at the ball. For most people, what I've seen is that they start inside the ball and then make a swing that goes to the outside part of the ball. Or if you're right-footed, they start inside and then end up, their swing veers to the right. So when you can't make a straight leg swing, you can't control the direction of the ball. Once again, it feels better. The other swing that they make is they'll start straight to the ball and then they'll cut across the ball. And so that they'll start right behind the ball and then they'll cut to the inside of the ball. And that's a pretty typical faulty leg swing that we see also. So we want them to know what it feels like to swing straight, because the natural feeling is not to swing straight. The fourth learned punting movement is finishing square to the target. Most punters, after they make contact, really like to rotate their hips because it gives them that extra feeling of a really long follow-through. When you do this, the problem is at times they start to rotate their hips before they make ball contact, and that results in mishit balls, hitting the back of the ball and making it go end over end to the left if you're a right-footed punter, or hitting the front of the ball and having it shank off to the right if you're a right-footed punter. So I really believe that these four things are things that the punter's box can help the punter feel like and train him to do the right punting movement, because they are learned movements. They're not natural movements. And that is stepping and walking straight, taking short, quick steps, learning to swing straight, and then finishing square to the target. The whole concept in teaching these, what I found, is that they don't feel right to people. They don't feel right to young punters. And I ask them, well, do you want to feel right or you want to let your feelings determine what's right, or you want to do what's right. And so once we get them beyond thinking about how it feels and understanding what the right techniques are, then they can feel what the right way to do it is, and they become more comfortable. But to do that over the years, I've used this Punters Box. I use this Punters Box to teach these learned punting movements. And what I do to set this box up is I take a piece of tape, and you can do this in your garage, you can do this on the weight room floor, or you can do this basically anywhere that you have 3 yards of space, and maybe a little bit more so they can follow through. But I take one piece of tape 3 yards long, and I put it straight down on the right side, and then I put another one to the left of it, another piece of tape 3 yards long. I make the distance between the tape 16 to 18 inches, which is shoulder width. And that's so that the punter can put a right foot on the right line and his left foot on the left line. And that gets them shoulder width apart, and it lets them feel like what the right stance is. So their feet are not too wide, their feet are not too close together. So I can coach stance and starting position with the Punters Box from this. Then I coach the steps. And as you'll see, this approach is designed to teach them to take 2 steps and cover only 2.5 yards, which is well within the standard that most punting coaches would like to have them. In fact, most people are happy if you can cover just 4 yards, and we can get them to cover 2.5 yards and only take 2 steps doing it. So the first step is 4 to 6 inches on the line. As you see, the red colored foot is the right foot. So the first step that they take is 4 to 6 inches on the line. The second step they take, which is with the left foot, is their toe ends up being at 2 yards, and then it's 4 to 6 inches beside the line. Now the reason that we want to make sure that this second step is not on the line and it's beside the line is that we want this right leg, or this punting leg, to have a clear path to swing at the ball. If this left foot crosses over that line or covers that line or gets too close, it cramps the punter's swing, and his leg can't make an unencumbered swing at the ball because his left leg is in the way. So that's the importance of making sure that that step is 4 inches to 6 inches beside the line. And of course, with the line down there, it's very easy to tell when you're watching your punters and coaching them on the right stepping patterns. Okay? Then once they step here with their non-punting foot and make their swing, then their punting leg should finish right on that line at about the 3 yard mark. And so if you set up this Punters Box and you have your punters do this approach drill, what I call the quick feet drill, then you can train their steps, you can train their body. They'll do punter specific movement patterns, and then you can teach them what the learned punter movements are so that they can make good swings, control their body, and become a better punter. My training program incorporates this. This is one of the main exercises or punting specific movements that we do. If you're interested in more about this, please visit my website at www.billrennerfootball.com. And I have in-season, off-season training programs for high school, college punters and kickers. And I know they'll help you become a better punter or kicker.